press record. Again, if you can just turn off your video, turn off your speaker. Having said that, I will ask for questions, either via chat or otherwise. So if you do have a question, turn your video and your sound back on. If you don't, just leave yourself blank. So turn off your video, turn off your microphone, and just listen that way. Well, everyone, it's been a pretty amazing couple of weeks. I guess you don't need me to tell you that. I've had a good number of you call me and email me. I hope I've been able to provide you with some reassurance, some information. That's certainly what my plan is to do now. So if I can just share the screen with you for a moment. What I hope you will see there, again, just let me know via the chat function if you can see that. Good. Glad, thank you. So I just hope to provide you with a little bit of background about where we've come and not talk about COVID-19 just for a couple of minutes. So as you no doubt have been able to follow along, there've been a number of lectures posted so far, at least for the principles of cardiac sonography, and at least 3 for the practice of cardiac sonography. We'll have 2 more lectures available this week as well. There have been some announcements, I hope, that have helped. We had the introduction. So even in the midst of some things, I mean, we have been able to deliver some material, and I hope that it's been helpful. With the lectures in mind, a good question was posed to me: are the lectures indicative of the kind of material that we're going to need to know for exams? The shorter answer is yes. The more detailed answer is the lectures cannot include every single aspect of the topics that they cover. However, they should be indicative of the range of knowledge that you should have. If you're encouraged to look up, a chapter or read a part of a chapter, I strongly encourage you to do that, because looking at lecture slides is a very limited way of developing your knowledge. So the lecture slides, I hope, are helpful, but you're going to need to go a little bit deeper than that. And that's not meant to sort of limit the lectures or provide an excuse. It's just really to encourage you to read broadly and to use the opportunity we've given you to access textbooks and the likes. I did, by the way, notice that Rob's textbook is not showing, and I will today and tomorrow try and make it available to you electronically. Okay, so that should be available to you very soon. So that's background. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things, unfortunately, that we're experiencing because of the global pandemic related to coronavirus, how that's impacted. And importantly, I want you to know that we've got a plan. Now, things are a bit fluid at the moment, so whether that plan is able to occur as we would like it to, I don't know. But let me just start by talking a little bit about the pandemic. So, as you'll probably remember, about 3 weeks ago there was an announcement saying, "Be cautious. Please, be careful to observe good hygiene. If you're feeling unwell, specifically if you have a cough, respiratory distress, if you've got a fever, seek medical advice." And that's my advice to you again. If you're unwell, you need to see a doctor. About 2 weeks ago, we were told that face-to-face teaching was going to be interrupted indefinitely. And so that's why we had to change the seminar. It's something that the university did not want to do, but we need to do. And there are a number of reasons for that, and they include the fact that we want to protect you, our students. We need to protect staff. We need to protect other people as well. We've got obviously a responsibility, and that was the university's decision, and I think it's a good one. As you probably know, there was a further announcement on Sunday limiting things even further, and that has impacted us again. It mightn't seem that way, but there's been a lot happening in the background, and I'm sorry that announcements that are more detailed haven't been given, but I certainly want this to be an opportunity for you to ask questions, and I'll try and transfer some information. And I'll do so over the next 2 days as well. So today, Wednesday and Thursday. Yesterday, we were told that there were to be no patients come on campus for reasons other than seeking medical attention. What we'd planned to do, and we'd put in extensive work over the last 10 days, is to try and film and record some high quality, practical activities equivalent to what, you would at least have undertaken, and enable you to watch those videos. We were going to start recording those today. Some of them were going to be streamed live. Some of them were going to be recorded. Arrived at work yesterday and was told that could no longer be the case. Patients we were going to have come on campus for us with heart disease are not allowed on at the moment. Moreover, there are limitations to staff members. And in the clinical school, I'm now called a non-essential person. So I have to work from home at the moment. And so I can't provide practical material to you from home of a sufficient quality that's going to enable you to learn the important skills that you need. So that's a little bit of background, I guess, as to how things have developed and what the pandemic means. The impact beyond that, well, what we're trying to do is the university wants to reassure everyone that we're still open for business. Things obviously have changed and will need to change, but we think it's still important that you know that there's still material that we'll be providing for you, and material that you'll be assessed on. And long term, the quality, we hope, will still be maintained. Bringing that to our course, what that means is, in short, all of the lectures will be provided to you via an online method. So all the lectures will be recorded, and they will be, we hope, good quality. We want them to be to provide you with good instructions. Once they're obviously made available to you via the View site, you'll be able to then watch them as often as you feel you need to. The View site obviously remains functional, and you'll be able to access material there. We are in the process of trying to access more material than we normally would make available, and I hope in the next few days to try and tell you a little bit about that. In terms of the units that you're doing, you're currently doing principles of cardiac sonography and practice of cardiac sonography. Now, the principles of cardiac sonography, fortunately, will probably be able to be held as it normally would be, with some minor differences. So there would have been 2 face-to-face lectures. They'll now be online, one of them tomorrow, one of them Thursday. Slides will be available, audio, video, and again, they'll be up on the View site, and you'll be able to access them from any point after that as well. We've had the physics tutorial. There will be 2 tutorials, one tutorial tomorrow on electrophysiology, another 2 tutorials on Thursday on cardiac anatomy, and there'll be further information sessions tomorrow and Thursday as well, and they'll be sort of made tomorrow specifically to give you even more detail about the principles of cardiac sonography, and on Thursday more detail about the practice of cardiac sonography. But as I was saying, the principles of cardiac sonography will be the one least impacted by this, and we hope that assessment items will still be able to happen, and that you'll have the opportunity to demonstrate your learning in the quizzes. There is an end of semester exam. It's a written exam. Just exactly how and where that's going to be held, we're not certain, but the material is there available, and there will be some way of making that available to you. So it will almost certainly go ahead. I say almost certainly because who knows? But if things remain as they are, we can still go ahead with that. Again, I'll tell you more tomorrow. The practice of cardiac sonography is going to change. Some lectures have been already been given, and you'll still have access to those. As I was saying, we were going to record tutorials and practical examples. They can't go ahead for reasons I just outlined. We can't bring people on campus, especially people who have pathologies. Moreover, I've been asked to stay off campus for the moment. So there's no way of filming those activities, etc. So the assessment items will be changed. One assessment item we hope still to go ahead with, as advertised, is the applied project, the Imaging Atlas. Again, I'll tell you more about that on Thursday. The practical exam is going to have to be delayed, and we're going to push that into the future, perhaps to July. Again, I say perhaps, can't be certain. The written exam may occur in June. It's a little bit more fluid than the written exam for the other unit. The logbook, it will definitely be delayed, a little bit like the practical exam, and it will be, we will ask you to submit that immediately after the practical exam. So if you're concerned about your logbook at the moment, there is certainly going to be a change. We want things to be reasonable and flexible, and we know that things are going to have to happen somewhat case to case. Nonetheless, there needs to be some general guidelines so that you actually know what we're doing, or at least trying to do, trying to achieve. We know that your clinical training has been impacted. I know from having spoken to a number of you, particularly those of you who are in the private setting, that numbers are limited very much, and I'm sorry that that is the case. It's beyond anyone's control at the moment, and it's not going to change quickly. Hopefully in time it will change, and obviously, you know, things eventually will return to normal, and you'll be able to, we hope, move back into that clinical setting. I'll ask you to tell me a little bit more about that on Thursday, and hopefully, again, I'll have a little bit more clarity in terms of dates for the practical exam and the logbook. But we want you to know that we're going to have to be flexible. We're going to have to deal with each of you individually. The university prides itself on being a student-centered university, and that remains very much the case. So please, if you need to contact me, if it's a general inquiry, continue to do so via email. If it's something urgent, for example, if you were to contract coronavirus, I would ask you to tell me, and obviously you can phone me. It would be important for you to tell me that, or an immediate family member, and you had to be isolated. It's important that you tell me that. I'll reaffirm that again on other days. I'll also ask you to, on other days, to provide me with a little bit of feedback in terms of just the degree of change that has occurred in your workplace. I want to tell you a little bit about the plan, and I'll show you another slide in just a moment. Because of the changes I described yesterday, and I'm working from home, there'll be a new timetable for today, tomorrow, and the next day. There'll still be some material, but it'll be a lot less than was planned. And it's material mainly related to the principles of cardiac sonography. So there will be material, lecture material, and some tutorials. As soon as we're finished here today, I'll make those available to you, along with the physics tutorial from Rob that you just had. So you'll be able to see the plan for tomorrow and for Thursday. And then you'll notice that, as well as lectures, tutorials, there'll, as I said, be information sessions. What I want to do, I want to sort of separate the two units as much as I can. Provide you information about the unit that is least impacted, principles of cardiac sonography. That's the one that's going to happen most normally, and the one that's been most impacted, which is the practice of cardiac sonography. So the information session tomorrow mainly be related to principles. The information session on Thursday mainly related to the practice of cardiac sonography. So before I go to questions, what I might do is briefly stop share, come back here. I'm going to start share screen again. I hope that you can see a grid there that's mainly green, but there's also some grey and white with days 1, 2, and 3. Again, can someone just type for me to indicate that you actually can see that? If you can just say, type in yes, or if there are lots of no's. Good, thank you, thank you, great. So as you'll see, today from 3:30 till 4 o'clock, but I'm happy to go beyond that. I'm happy to provide some more answers and some more information. Yeah, happy to go beyond 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, there'll be a lecture available from 8 o'clock. I strongly encourage you, if you can, to look at or listen to that lecture. It will be audio and the slides will be available for you. To listen to that lecture prior to the tutorial in the afternoon, okay? The tutorial in the afternoon will run from 4 o'clock until 5. As you can see, there's a tutorial. That will be from, I don't know, between 30 and 40 minutes long. Then there'll be a brief Q&A, some homework, and then finally there'll be some more assessment information on the principles. And basically what I'll do is I'll try and just sort of go through the learning guide, indicate to you again what's required, what to expect, questions and answers. And then, as you can see, on Thursday there'll be a lecture available from Thursday morning at 8 a.m. cardiac anatomy. Strongly encourage you to view that lecture if you can before the afternoon tutorials. There'll still be a library resources tutorial. I think that's an important one still to hold. Lily, the School of Medicine librarian, will present there and provide some information about details that, resources that may help for the imaging atlas, and also just give you some other information too. There'll then be an information session on ECG, some questions and answers, and some tutorials about cardiac anatomy. So that's the plan. As I said, this outline will be available to you via Views in just a moment. Obviously, I'm going to make the links to these available to you via Views. So the lectures, there'll just be a link by the Views site. You go in normally as you would access a lecture. So you go to that particular learning module and then follow the instructions. For the Zoom tutorials, there'll be a link via an announcement, just like what you've done today. Then I'll make them available to you, and via an announcement again, I will instruct you about how to access that. So can I ask, does anyone have any questions? Maybe if it's a short question, or you've just got it, you would just like a little bit more clarity, type a question via the chat. If you don't think that's possible, certainly just select unmute, and if you like the video, and answer or ask any questions. So no questions as yet. Again, we're all going to have to be a little bit patient. I understand that it's difficult, both from a learning point of view, but also, working also at home and things like that for you. Those of you who have a family, whether you have children or not, whether you have, parents, etc. It's going to be difficult, but I hope that we'll still be able to navigate this all together. If you're feeling concerned about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. As I said, if it's just a general inquiry, feel very much as though you can send me an email, and I hope to be prompt in that regards. If you've got something a little more urgent and you need to call me, please do so. Don't feel as though you can't, but just ask you to obviously, to leave that for more serious matters. I hope that provides you with some details as to where we are and a little bit of an idea of the plan, certainly a plan for the next few days. Just to reaffirm this, there are no questions via the chat. So tomorrow there will be a lecture available early. Then there will be tutorial and information sessions in the afternoon. I'll speak more at greater length about the principles of cardiac sonography tomorrow. Again, let me just reaffirm that that's the one that's unchanged so much. Yes, I can see you, Nicole. How can I help?
So I'm working tomorrow, so I won't be able to make the 4 p.m. tute. What time will that be available to rewatch?
Shouldn't take too long. As soon as you end something on Zoom, it automatically begins making a recording of that. That takes a few minutes, and then is downloaded to my computer. But then it's just something that I need to transfer to a course dedicated YouTube site, and then I'll provide you with the link. You guys kind of know the thing. So half an hour, I would say, afterwards.
Okay, so I'll be able to catch up tomorrow night.
So yeah, thank you, Nicole. Thanks for being brave and showing your face.
Hi, everybody.
So yeah, I think as a general rule, just wait for about half an hour for material again to be made available to you guys. So yeah, that's probably how it's gonna pan out. Anyone else with any questions? So if like Nicole, you can't catch it the first time round, it'll be available to you, and I'll provide via an announcement details of exactly where it is. As soon as you see the announcement, I guess just assume that then it's available there. I won't make an announcement if it's not. I see another chat question. So yeah, thank you, Linfa. So the 8 a.m. lecture tomorrow is a lecture that was recorded last year. The cardiologist at the moment who is going to give the lecture again can't. I'm sorry. So there is audio available, and there will be slides available too. That will be available from 8 a.m. So the audio and the slides will be available from 8 a.m. There will be a tutorial to extend and expand upon information about that tomorrow afternoon. So it's electrophysiology tomorrow. So hopefully by the time you've listened to the audio and observed the slides, and then you've had a tutorial and some Q&A tomorrow and the following day, that will make a lot more sense. So I hope that's, thanks Lympha, I hope that's good information. The one on Thursday, you'll see and hear me. That will be on cardiac anatomy. And then there'll be a lot more information about cardiac anatomy by way of the tutorials in the afternoon. Normally, the cardiac anatomy, if you were to come on campus, there'd be some an activity that people really find beneficial most times, and so we have sheep's hearts to dissect, and I'm told that a sheep's heart is similar in size to a human heart, and certainly anatomy is quite similar. They've got 4 chambers, similar valves and great arteries. That won't happen, but a lot of the other teaching will happen. Obviously, cardiac anatomy is key knowledge. It's really core to what we do. And so if you can't watch the lecture when it's first available tomorrow, or the tutorials, I strongly encourage you to make the time to look at the recording. Okay, chat. Look, there aren't any other questions. I'll just speak for 30 seconds or so longer. If that question comes to you later, maybe jot it down and ask tomorrow. So, yeah, it might perhaps benefit everyone in that way. Again, thank you for joining in. I hope you found Rob's tutorial helpful. We're really fortunate to have Rob as part of the faculty. He adds a great deal of experience and expertise. So, yeah, thank you. And yeah, I'll now go and try and make Rob's tutorial available. Again, allow me to express how disappointed I am that we can't all meet this week. I was really looking forward to meeting you guys and doing some good activities. But you know, we'll do the best we can. I'll go into this in more detail. What I don't want you to feel is that you're not supported, and I don't want you to feel as though that the quality of what we're going to do is going to be compromised. We'll certainly try and make sure that by the end of the course, you're really good, sonographers. So thank you again, and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Yeah, from 8 o'clock tomorrow, there'll be a lecture there. Thanks everyone, all the best.
Thank you.